So the subject that I thought to talk about today is a kind of a fun idea. It's how to reach $1 million in 3 years. And the joke answer to that of how to reach $1 million in 3 years is first start with 2 million and then start trading options or become a day trader, and you'll reach 1 million in no time. But the serious way is, and maybe not what everyone is hoping for, is you basically need 3 years of 26% gains to reach $1 million, starting from a point of having $500,000. So start with 500,000. It just takes 3 years of 26% gains, doing nothing else, and then you end up at 1 million. So the simple math to how that works out is just take your 500,000 and multiply it by 1.26, and then multiply that by 1.26, and multiply that by 1.26, and that ends up getting you to 1 million. And the reason why that's kind of an important thing to understand is, if you saved for a long time, it might take a long time to get to that $500,000 mark. So like, let's say you're putting that into an IRA, or not an IRA, but a 401k, whether that's a Roth 401k or a traditional 401k, you can save $23,500 each year. And without compounding, it would take you about 23 years to get to that $500,000 mark. So with some compounding each year, that's quicker than that. But 20 years is a long time to get to that $500,000 mark. But the interesting thing is 3 good years in the stock market can make all the difference. It might take you 20 years to get to that $500,000 mark, and then all of a sudden in 3 years time with a good market, you can earn as much as it did in that whole 20-year time frame. And so that's kind of interesting math to look at. Now you might say, well, 26%, that's pretty high. We have had really good markets over the last little while, and we're close to that point. And if you extend it back to 2020, the difference between 2020 to 2025, we've had some incredible gain years. So, I kind of looked it up on my, Fidelity system that does a yield performance, and starting over 5 years time, I think the market's up something like 125% or something since that time, which is pretty close to that compounding at 20% per year or something. So if you do 4 years time, you just need 19%. So if you take your $500,000 and you multiply it by 1.19, it takes 4 years to double that from 500,000 to million. So the reason why I kind of bring that up is, it might be frustrating to kind of save year after year after year, and maybe you don't see the results coming in the way you'd like to, but just kind of know and trust in the system that all you need are 3 or 4 really good years when the economy is expanding, and it can do wonders to your overall financial independence journey. The same as it also works at any income. So if you're at $100,000 and you have 26% gain years, you end up at 200,000. If you start from $250,000, 3 good years puts you at $500,000. And that's still really impressive, but it's potentially not life-changing money. Like, even if you have an extra $250,000, chances are you still have to work. You still don't have enough to fully reach financial independence. It's a matter of bigger numbers. And so, having 3 good years after you've accumulated a lot of funds can have a much larger difference in the overall effect on your life than just having 3 good years earlier on. That increase, having a $500,000 increase instead of, say, $100,000 increase, $500,000 is life-changing funding, life-changing money. Because after you have big gains, you can then, if you go from $500,000 to $1 million, and if you do that 4% rule where you're going to withdraw 4% per year, at $1 million, that's a $40,000 a year amount. Whereas at 500,000, that's only $20,000. So you can do a lot more with a $40,000 a year return than you can with just $500,000. So it's the idea is, don't be frustrated about slowly saving, kind of the year after year grind of trying to slowly boost up your assets. You know, chances are they'll continue to go up in the stock market over time and you will get gains, but if you get 3 good years, it can create life-changing money differences in your life. And so, you know, look forward to the future. We will have those times at various moments in the future. I don't know what's going to happen to the market over the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, but chances are over time you're going to get 3 really good years, and you just have to be prepared and ready for it by saving and having your funds invested. So, you know, if you're in that middle doldrum someplace of trying to save, you know, just believe in the future you're going to get 3 really good years at some point, and it's going to create life-changing money for you and do a lot of the work for you that you've been working to save over the many years. So, you know, 3 good years after you have quite a bit makes a huge difference in comparison to 3 years early in your saving journey. So just kind of food for thought, something fun to think about. You know, really believe in the system, believe in investing, because, you know, somewhere in the future are 3 really good years coming up that you can make life-changing money. So like, subscribe. This isn't financial advice, but just a YouTuber trying to share some knowledge. We'll see you. Bye.